Alaya is a wanderer. She often found herself wandering into unknown places, creating little worlds within her own imagination. She found something so comforting in just stumbling onto hidden spots of the island, where the only sound she could hear were ocean waves in the distance and the little creatures that called that place their home. She liked to think of herself as the island's secret note-taker. She would draw out sketches of the mango trees, observe the parting clouds in the sky right before rain dumped out of them. Every little etch and line she let out of her pen was intentional, slow, and meditative. Alaya could sit for hours like this, documenting every little present moment with her eyes and hands, every little groove of bark and tilt of a leaf in the exact angle that it would find its way onto her paper. It would be the next inspiration for her poems, her songs, her prayers, her stories. No one knew exactly where Alaya would go when she disappeared for hours like this, every day, sometimes days on end. People in town would see her unhurriedly wandering around with a starry-eyed look on her face, and they'd say, "Oh, there goes Alaya again, walking around with nowhere to go. Poor girl." But what they didn't know is that it was quite the opposite for her. Her steps were intentional, and every moment she saw as an opportunity to dance with the land that welcomed her. She saw the trees as cousins and felt them swaying with her. She felt the movement of the sands beneath her bare feet. Every little grain and pebble she felt was kissing her feet, ushering her to her next secret spot and adventure. The humid air swelled around her. It felt like her Lola's hugs. She didn't feel lost at all, actually, and if anything, she felt free. She felt carried by the islands. She felt home. And she knew that every part of it was important, from the smallest little beetle wing to the largest crashing ocean wave. Every little piece she would try not to miss. It was in laughing with the winds and calling out to the sky that made her feel whole. It was almost her job just to sit and listen and be with it all. Today was no different. Alaya felt a rising from within her and down her spine as the sun came up with her. It was the early morning and her family had not yet woken up. Alaya picked up her small brown bag and popped the top open to check out what treasures she had left behind from yesterday's adventure. A small leaf, slightly curled up from being in the back, lay at the bottom right next to her sketch pads and pens. "Ah," she breathed out. "I have all I need for another day." She then gently kissed the cheeks of her sleeping family, one by one, and scooped a mango out of a woven basket in the kitchen. "Time to learn," she hummed as she walked out the door and started her next quest. She was on a mission today to find a particular mountain that she had heard about, Mount Arayat. Its name sounded so much like her own, and she chuckled to herself as she thought about it, muttering to herself, "Mount Alaya, Mount Arayat, Mount Alaya, Mount Arayat." She had heard legends about a fairy who lived at this sacred mountain, protecting all of the fruit, trees, and animals that lived there. Alaya had heard of this beautiful fairy goddess growing up, and she knew that the goddess only had one rule. You can eat as many fruits as you'd like, but do not take any home. Alaya knew that she should only eat what she needed and not more. So she set out towards the mountain, letting the Pampanga River show her the way. Every step along the green plains felt exhilarating to her. She began to sketch the edges of the little grasses as it met the sides of the river. She felt the need to pause and give thanks for the waters. They were not only showing her the way, but they taught her how to move fluidly on the earth. She paused to pull out the leaf from her bag to offer to the river. The curled dark brown leaf was plucked from her little palm by a gentle gust of wind and settled by itself onto the river, floating downstream towards the mountain, which she could see was not too far off in the distance. Salamat, Alaya says. Thank you, river. As Alaya continued on, she felt her stomach begin to grumble with hunger. She thought about eating the mango she packed in her bag, but something within her told her that she might need it for later. She heard a little flutter above her and looked up. It was a small flock of iridescent emerald green birds headed right towards the mountain too. Wow, Alaya said, as her eyes followed the beautiful glittering creatures above her. They must be headed to see the fairy too. She smiled. Amazed by the beauty of the grasses, the river, the trees around her, she stopped and felt that she needed to write a prayer in her journal. The land knows us by name. It knows where we are headed. To give thanks, we appreciate it for showing itself to us. And in return, we offer ourselves to protect and dance with it. She then twirled around and around and around, inspired by the laps of water swirling in the river beside her. Falling into the grass, she laughs. Time to keep going, she says. Just a little more to go, she thought. She saw that little dip in the top of the mountain. It was as if a giant had thrown a boulder on top of the mountain and carved out a little U shape down the middle. As she walked for some time longer, the sun began to fade behind her. Her legs began to feel sore and heavy. She had passed many trees and bushes when she finally lifts her head up from the gaze of her footsteps and stops in her tracks to find herself at the base of the mountain. A warm wave of relief washed over her. She had arrived. She took a deep, slow breath, remembering the legend she had heard about. She could feel her body start to ease and settle as she pulled her offering from her bag. Calmly and slowly, she hums a blessing, asking the spirit of the mountain fairy to allow her to pass. Tabi tabi po, she whispers, as she places the mango down at the foot of a rain tree. Sitting right beside the mango against the trunk of the tree, she rests. The cool air of the evening begins to soothe her tired body, and she could hear what sounded like a faint hum among the chirping insects. She was sure it was the fairy of the mountain. It relaxed her. She slowed her breath, and her body softened into the earth. With a gentle hum around her, it blended into a lullaby that carried her to sleep. Her eyelids closed little by little, and the night began to take its hold on her, inviting her to rest in stillness. As soft morning light warmed her face the next day, she slowly opened her eyes, and the day greeted her with an unexpected gift of sweetness. Alaya saw in front of her a beautiful platter made of banana leaves woven together, with fruit on top of it for her to eat for breakfast. She knew it was the fairy of the mountain that had gifted this to her to eat for breakfast and then to make her way home. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you." And for a long, quiet moment, She simply sat with the morning, held by the spirit of the mountain, nourished by the land, and completely at ease.